Hi, Kirby. How are you?
Good. How are you? You like my
I'm
hat?
doing good. I love the hat.
It's actually a mohair. Yeah, I've had it for too long. It's older than most of the people who are probably watching this, but I like it. So
Yeah.
anyway, so today we are going to really talk about realty. I titled this episode "Realty." Really. So we're really going to talk about that. When I say realty, we're talking about property, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, first thing we're going to do is let's talk about a viral story having to do with property. And I got to get back into sharing my screen again. I actually reverse set up how I set up before, which is probably how it should have been in the first place. And so, hopefully, it's going to be easier. We'll see. Anyway, The Guardian. How an 18th century portrait stolen by the Nazis was recovered 80 years later in Argentina. All right, Sarah, what do you think about this one?
Well, I think it's fascinating because what happened is somebody noticed in the Realty advertisement that it was a stolen painting that was stolen by Nazis and that it was in Argentina. And what was even more interesting about it was then when the police went to the house to investigate, the people that moved the painting and tried to hide that they had it. So
Mm.
then they got in trouble. So I thought the whole thing was very interesting that it was like by chance that somebody looked at it and said, "Oh, that's a stolen painting." And it actually led to an investigation.
I'm going to guess that they didn't immediately recognize it as stolen, but they knew who the people were and knew they were descendants of Nazis. I don't know for sure if I'm right on this, but the thing is, like, I can imagine all the people who are the descendants of Nazis that are in Argentina are probably known by at least some people, right? And they probably follow and watch when they post things online and whatever. And then this time, oh, they did their house for sale, and the art is still on the walls. And it's a very well known fact that the Nazis stole a shitload of art,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Right.
I think that might, and so that might also be the case where, I mean, to be honest, they might be like, it really depends on who they're following, like just the parents. But I would follow the kids because the kids are TikTok live and things and whatever in their house, and you might actually get a glimpse of some other stolen things, maybe too. Um, we have a comment: blonde hair and blue eyes could be a giveaway. Okay, possibly, yeah, for Argentina, right? That especially those kind of communities, if they're in like the German communities that are there, absolutely, right? So yeah, so I think that's really interesting, and again, it's something where when you think about stolen property, if you have a idea of who might have stolen it, um, all those surrounding people. It could be just somebody who's at a big event they hosted for, a party for Halloween or whatever, who's off, taking videos and just happens to take a video of whatever, which was stolen.
The other thing I thought that was really interesting about this is that how realty advertisements in and of themselves can be used for investigations, and that you could have things that are inadvertent in a realty advertisement
Mhm.
that could lead to an investigation. So maybe somebody's son is dealing drugs and they have something in the picture that they're like, oh, that relates to drug paraphernalia, or I mean,
Right. It's like a decorator piece in the kid's room or whatever, right?
right.
I can imagine that for drugs, but yeah, it could even be. I mean, I feel like it's going to be hard unless you already know that the people have something that you're interested in investigating. But I might be wrong. But like if you, I mean, besides just like drug paraphernalia, but like anything major. Hmm,
Yeah.
yeah.
In
Anyway,
any case, I thought it was interesting.
it's definitely interesting. Well, let's keep on this realty theme, and let me switch out to a short dealing with realtors. Right? Wait. Yeah. Well, not exactly, but maybe fake realtors. Right? So let me see. I'm going to throw a short in here. All right, again, this is on YouTube Shorts, and again, all of our links are going to be available in our YouTube description afterwards. Before we start this one, I do want to mention, speaking of YouTube, that I was planning on streaming to YouTube today. We are definitely going to be streaming to YouTube next week as well. So we'll be streaming on Twitch and YouTube. All right. Okay, so anyway, here we go.
We're going to run across this article. Rental fraud is going viral. So got my attention, of course. And I want to share it with you guys. It said that renters are getting very creative, but not in a good way. In Atlanta, rental fraud is actually exploding. They're finding fake pay stubs, AI-generated job letters, even entire fake identities to get into these apartments. The property managers say it's everywhere, especially in high-end apartments that have been sitting empty. People are actually buying fraud kits on social media, complete with fake credit scores and employment histories to slip past these background checks. So why now is a big question. The article goes on to say it's due to lack of affordable housing, as developers have focused heavily on luxury housing. And that gap is fueling this desperation and the opportunity for these scammers. Now, landlords are fighting back with fraud detection software, but the fakes are just getting smarter as AI is really helping out a lot. But it's just not in Atlanta. It's also happening in Miami, Houston, DC, and other areas as well.
And that housing affordability thing is major right now. So I'm not too surprised, even that they're buying these like fraud kits and, so that they can pass an initial scan, because they really don't need to pass like an in-depth scan. If somebody who's going to be looking in depth finds out they're fraud, well, they didn't want that person anyway, because they didn't want the police, involved or whatever. That person is going to go move on. But somebody who like just kind of casually, oh, I know there's fraud out here, some fraud, something, because they don't necessarily know exactly how the fraud's going to end up looking, and they seem legitimate, and then they.
Well, I thought it was really interesting because I mean, typically we always look at, or at least I've been always looking at it from the person advertising the property doing the scam, but now it's showing that it's on both sides. You have, there's people out there doing scams for fake properties or real properties that are theirs, or you have also people that are using fraud to get artificial intelligence fraud to get accepted into your property. So one of the things I thought that would be a kind of a fun experiment to do at some point was I thought I would go on tour and see if I could find any examples.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I'll be definitely interested to hear what comes up with that.
I was like, I wonder because I'm like, where are these fraud kits? Are they on tours?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're out there, so
yeah,
I'm sure there are. Anything's for sale out there nowadays. Let's keep talking about scammer, and this time again on the real estate side, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, trying to fraudulently sell property in this case. So, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Giancarlo.
Yes, in Tampa, it's really bad. And in fact, I think this example is a Florida example.
Oh, this next example? Yeah, you're right. It is a Florida example. So let me bring this one in. Fake landlord listing. Yeah. Stein, Giancarlo. I think that that is a really big, I'm kind of wondering, maybe I should be checking out how, yeah, I figured it was a sock puppet. Don't worry. I'm fine with sock puppets. I get it. But I'm wondering, like, percentage-wise on Craigslist, how many of them are scams? Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, I'm wondering. Interesting. Something to look at maybe if we have time at some point. All right, let's go ahead and check this one out. So this one, we'll watch for about 30 seconds.
The woman who caught this scam has done thousands of closings, and she's never seen a scammer try to use AI to sell a property. It's a sophisticated scam you may have never heard of, using AI technology to try and fraudulently sell property. It almost happened here in Hallandale Beach.
Margaret?
The woman on the bottom right of your screen is supposed to be Margaret Ann McCartney, claiming to be the owner and seller of this vacant property in Hallandale Beach. Except what?
Okay, we're going to let people go and check that out themselves too, if they want to check out the rest of this video and see exactly how the AI was used. But it is, the thing with AI is every iteration, it's not just like, okay, version 2 is better than version 1. Version 2 is 2 times better. And then version 3 is 4 times better. It's exponential, right?
Right. This one was a year ago, so the AI wasn't as evolved as it's now. So there's a lot of tells that Margaret wasn't real, whereas the you have a lot of options now that are a lot more realistic. This particular newscast also had some very good, just basic tips on how what to look out for in scams. Such as, what kind of payment, like if somebody says, send me money via Venmo, then you know that that's kind of shady if you're looking at a property. But this was one of the, I would say, a big notable effort by the scammer, because they actually joined a online meeting, to try and convince the other people that they were indeed Margaret. So
Yeah.
And
I'm not surprised somebody tried it then, but trying it now would be a huge difference. Huge difference.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look at the next one. All right. And again, we're staying on the property, I think. So let's go ahead and okay. Rental scammer costs apartment hunter $1,500. FTC issues warning signs to look for. So let's go ahead and hit about 15 seconds of this one.
Scammers find a home for sale and copy all the photos. So don't let this happen to you. The FTC says be suspicious of rental listings. If the landlord wants a deposit before you have met, you can't go inside the home. They ask for a deposit via Venmo, Zelle, or gift cards. Kevin Hines says it would all make a good fiction book if he wasn't out $1,500.
Yeah, the thing is, hey, True Patriot says, hello, I don't see too many OSINT analysts. Glad to see you guys online talking about experiences. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're, it's kind of fun to do a live feed of this. So we're going to keep going. So thank you. Thanks for being here. So this kind of scam, I think, happens a lot as far as like them just copying the images, and AI is just going to make it even more difficult to tell the difference. For these ones, I mean, reverse searching the images, sometimes you can see them on Zillow or something like that. But I almost think that it's almost, like I said, I think I do want to check and see like what the ratio of scam to real rentals are on some of the like things like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or those places where you can list them yourself, because I'm going to guess that it's pretty high. And so my suggestion to people, if you're looking for a new place, is go to a realtor, even if you're looking for a place to rent, because houses for rent a lot of times are represented by realtors.
Right. And I think that's a good point. And I
Not
think also,
mom and pop, but you're going to get like a place that's professionally managed.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Yeah. And I think one of the other things is, as you said, that it's I mean, you can cut and paste the photos, but AI adds a whole nother venue to it, because then you can pop in the fake person, and that fake person can look like the real person. So
right. So then they're in the listing, and then they talk to you on Zoom, and maybe they even give you a tour on Zoom, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see where that's possible. It'd be difficult right now, but I don't think it's going to be difficult for long. I think of like the ways that they make those digital tours are basically using an app. Like I think there was an app I used to use called Hang on a second. Polycam, and you can make you could just make 3D objects if you wanted, which is what I like Polycam for. But so I will put Polycam into our group, into our content, and I'm going to actually put that as a comment. So anybody who's here live, Polycam, you can get a lot of it for free, and you can capture like the inside of a building, that sort of thing, and map it out, and then take people through a virtual tour. I was doing things like, for example, one of mine is a margarita, so you can go all the way around it or whatever, or a table, so you can even go underneath it, etc. And I could place it anywhere. But anybody can do this for free now, and I can only imagine that it's not going to be. I wonder even if it's already possible for you to Polycam a building in Sora. So, point of view Polycam, you're navigating whatever, and then that's the house you list.
Right. I mean, it seems logical. Kirby, we should try it.
We should try it. Hold on a second. I'm going to share Polycam.
Okay.
So I want to just quickly share Polycam so you guys can see the logo and know that you're getting the right one. So this is Polycam. And again, like I said, I've used it quite a lot for years. I love this one. There's actually, I've got a number of them.
But you're still not showing it on the screen.
Oh, I'm not.
No.
Someday I'm going to be professional at this. All right. Anyway, there we go. I'm sharing it now. Anyway, I have a number of these, and I think Polycam was my favorite one. But there's a number of these out there that you can share, or that you can create, 3D objects with. And so I'm sure that Sora knows about, it has index stuff about Polycam. So I can maybe say, have it as if it took a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a pool, whatever.
Well, you even have to use Polycam, because couldn't you just
I'm just gonna tell Sora done like it is,
and just pop the photos into Sora and say make it into a video walkthrough?
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
And maybe even give Sora the floor plan, because some people are putting their floor plans online.
Or you can look at the county property records.
I want to do this now.
Well, okay. All right. So here's my thought. We table this until the next episode, and we do this as an experiment.
Well, next episode is all about kids.
Okay. We'll do this as an experiment for one of the future episodes where we dork Sora to make
yes. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna dork Sora, but before we move on, continue on with Realty, not reality, but Realty. I do want to show where Sora is right now, because that's
okay. Absolutely.
And then we'll go back to what we're talking about.
Sora. Yes. Okay.
All right. So we're gonna keep Polycam in mind. Mm-hmm. Sarah and I are gonna play with it. In the meantime, I just want to show you Sora really quick. If for those of you who have not been playing with it, start playing with it is my suggestion. And the reason I say that is because Sora, it's a social network of its own right now. And you might say, okay, well, some people are sharing videos or whatever, but this goes beyond just some people making AI videos. There are meme chains of content. You can spend hours in Sora without thinking too hard about it. So the way that Sora is right now, if I hover over something, it's going to start playing. So I'm going to kind of hover over. All right.
It had an astronaut lizard person.
Where is that at?
Right there.
Right here. Yeah. Okay. So now now I clicked into that window. So now if I hover over, the audio is going to come up.
Double tap the video and it drops an emoji that matches the moment. Watch. See that star float up? Give it a try.
When you
orbit, I want to show you a quick trick. In Sora, double tap the video and it drops an emoji that
clearly only on the app version, but when you double tap, the emoji does match whatever the video is about. It's really kind of cool as well. It's not just hearts, but so again,
see that star float up? Give it a try.
Thanks for.
And it talks about it. But if I hover,
in Sora orbit, I want to show you a quick.
Over here, you can see where people have riffed on it. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor over here. You can see over here is the riffs, the remixes. And on the app, it's much easier because there's dots across the bottom so you can kind of see. Now, the first one should be
From way up here above Earth, I wanted to show you something cool. If you're watching this inside Sora, there's a little trick. Whenever you double tap anywhere on the video, it doesn't just give a heart. Sora picks an emoji that matches what's happening and drops it right on the screen.
Okay, but then other people can also riff on it, depending on your allowances. And so you can kind of see, like, here's
From
like
way up here above the clouds, I wanted to show you something cool. If you're
and because she put herself into it, anybody who's riffing off of it has her as their spokesperson, unless they don't want her. They could get rid of her and add somebody else, you know. But it's like, it's just amazing, the feeds right now. This is the For You feed, but you get the following, top, and latest feeds as well. And you can
Right, Ricky. Here's
yourself,
Ricky.
right
Here's
now,
the Windows laptop I was telling you
I want to
about. And right next to it.
okay, I just wanted to stop it there because this Ricky Berwick is this guy right here.
Mhm.
And everybody knows Mark Cuban. This isn't Ricky or Mark who made this video. They made clones of themselves and allowed themselves to be shared in other people's videos. So for example, I can make a video starring Mark Cuban. However, he has control over what kind of stuff can be shared. So you can actually limit and say, okay, no violence, no whatever, because they do allow violence on here, and there's also some not great content on here, some
Well,
nudity, some whatever, but you can say none of that.
In Kirby, I think that's an excellent point. It's a bit off topic from Realty, but that's okay because I know we'll get back to it. But I think it's a really good point that you raised, because when you're using artificial intelligence or looking at artificial intelligence, dealing with ethics, you know, it's important to look at whether or not somebody would want their likelihood used in the first place. So,
Well, Sora
yeah.
doesn't let you use any people who are living now, but it does let you use people who are passed away. So let's just give an example of my example, Sarah, if you don't mind. We're going to talk about it. I saw someone, so, okay, in the case of Mark Cuban, you can use his likeness, but his advertisement for cost plus drugs will show up if you use his likeness. Okay. But you can use people who aren't alive's likeness. And I saw somebody use Rick James as a, you know, for a law group that says, hey, I hire these people all the time to take care of my cases. It shocked me, but then I clicked the little remix button, which is right here. You guys can see hopefully my cursor. I remixed it into Rick James telling everybody that they should hire me as an investigator. Posted on LinkedIn, but Sarah, who is my backup brain right there, right? So she said, hey, think twice about this, because one, likeness, somebody still probably owns rights to that likeness. And also, would I like somebody using my dead relative? But also, two, Rick James has some issues. And do I want him representing us? And I said, Sarah, thank you for the sanity check. And I deleted it. But, you know, it's just like, you can have Marilyn Monroe. I think right now on my feed on Sora, I have Frank Sinatra rapping. I might remove that too, just because, but that's the only third person I think I have besides memes. But yeah, it's just get on there, get into Sora, and just start swiping. If you're on the mobile, swipe up, swipe down, swipe all the directions. If you're not on the mobile, and sometimes people still need an invite. I know that I do have a few invites left that people can ask for. I probably won't be in too long, but they're out there. I see people advertising invites on Reddit as well. So, okay, we'll get back to reality now. Or not reality, realty.
Realty. I like
An emoji.
Oh, sorry. Dragged my cursor across it. All right. We're going to remove that. All right. Back to our regular scheduled planning. Oh, so we got a question. So True Patriot asks, how much do analysts actually earn in 2025? Estimates show roughly 70 to 130,000, but is that actually sustainable and scalable? Sarah, what's your opinion on that?
Well, I think it really depends what kind of analyst you are within OSINT. You know, are you a human rights and where you are you a human rights analyst? Are you an anti-money laundering analyst? Are you
Are you
doing
counter-terrorist,
right,
counter-drug?
counterterrorism, cryptocurrency? And so, I mean, you have different kind of niches within OSINT, and that definitely is going to impact what your salary would be. So my follow-up question to you, True Patriot 312, would be, what kind of analyst would you want to be, or what field are you working in?
And my input while you're thinking of, or maybe even answering that question, if you're interested in answering it, is that it's completely possible depending on what field you decide to be. Yes.
Yeah.
It's absolutely possible.
Yeah. So, I mean, I started off with terrorist websites.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
Yeah. And you think about who's hiring you. If it's an NGO hiring you, then not as much, but you might have some other rewarding, or if it's like a big beltway contractor hiring you, up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
All right. We are back to realty or property, and wait, somehow I ended up in the slop. Okay. Yeah, some more realty stuff. Let me share my screen again. All right. Suspects arrested after series of estate sale burglaries.
Right.
Estate sales. So those are advertised. They're advertised online. They're advertised in on social media sometimes, or on Craigslist or whatever, in the newspaper. Sarah?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's exactly what somebody can have a garage sale, and they have their items listed, and if it's something that somebody says, "Ooh, I really need a lawnmower," and it happens to be a criminal, maybe they will target that garage sale. So estate sales typically have more high value items, whether it's jewelry or whether it's antiques or other items. Electronics. So this is just showing that how everyday information related to a property can be used for adversarial open source intelligence activities.
Absolutely. And honestly, if the crooks are like really smart, they will identify the estate sale, maybe not everything's advertised, because not everything gets put on there, but they might go and like look up the house that the estate sale's at, who owned it, who are they, what do they do, what did they do,
Yeah,
how much money are they worth, what maybe they are, maybe it's somebody who owned a electronics store. You might think,
right.
Oh, he's probably got some of the newest, coolest stuff, right?
And absolutely. And the other thing is, since so many counties within the United States, the property records are public through the county tax assessor. So if you find your county tax assessor website, not every state, but a lot of states. So if you go to the county tax assessor website, a lot of times you can find out the value of the property itself too. So if somebody's dropped, $1 million on a house versus $100,000 on a house, and you're conducting adversarial OSINT for casing for theft, then you might assume that there would be higher valuables in that house. So this is just an example of adversarial open source intelligence. And then when you're listing things online from a non-adversarial perspective, is that you might want to double think what you're posting on there.
And that reminds me, the things about like estate sales. Another thing that could happen is that these people now know that an estate sale generally happens when somebody passes away.
Right.
And so they see an estate sale, if they look at it and there's a lot of great stuff, and they see there's like, this is a major one, these people have money, then they might again research the house, figure out the house, figure out who died, figure out who's left, the widow, the widower, hunt them and scam them. It's something people do with obituaries. Scammers go after obituaries all the time.
And absolutely. And at that point, they can move from doing adversarial open source intelligence to actually doing social engineering. Because if you are a living survivor or somebody who's just lost a loved one, you are at that point, at least most people, more vulnerable. So I think, that is a very good point, Kirby.
And that is the moment. That's also when scams work. Everybody thinks, oh, I can't ever get scammed. No, you can get scammed. It just
Right.
depends on your mindset the minute that they're scamming you. Most time you like, oh, I know that's a scam number. I'm not going to answer it. I know that's a scam text, whatever. But at some point when you're emotional and something else is going on, spouse just died, that you can get scammed. Anybody can get scammed.
Everybody can get scammed. Yeah.
Everybody can get scammed. Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right, let's remove that one and go on to our next one, which is similar theme. So again, we're still talking about realty. So this time they're not just looking for the stuff, they're looking for the copper in your wires.
Right. And this example was this one was out of Australia.
Mhm.
I thought this was really interesting because they went for a specific kind of supply. And it reminded me oddly when I was in Baghdad in 2003, because at that point everybody was stealing copper.
I know, I was just thinking that too. I was just thinking this like back to like all the copper theft stuff. It wasn't just 2003. I think it went like until, people still catalytic converters, right? So it's copper theft is still going on, but it was like crazy until like 2018 or so.
Right. So, but again, the adversarial part of this was the casing was done through open source intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
So they used adversarial open source intelligence to case the copper.
Yeah. So True Patriot says, thank you for serving Afghan here. Yes, I was in the Army, and Sarah is an Army family. But anyway, yeah. So as far as, I'm sorry?
I was a contractor.
Yeah. Yep. And so when we think about that, as an Afghan, again, language skills are going to be a big deal. OSINT and language skills together, that is like, it magnifies. So yes, use your OSINT, use your language skills, and get those, and again, like I said, contractor jobs are probably the highest paying. Federal jobs right now are a little tight, right?
Mine wasn't, because I actually volunteered.
But I'm talking about this year.
Yeah, and I volunteered to go as a contractor, and but in general, yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right.
Okay, so we'll move on from this one. Let me whack this one, and let's see. Okay, again, another adversarial version of this. We have a burglar who is casing to figure out,
This one was really interesting because the way that they did this is they actually used adversarial open source intelligence from the property next door to the target, and they used adversarial open source intelligence on the target too before engaging in physical activities.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily even figuring out like what's in the house, but figuring out how to get into the house.
Right. And then realty websites are really good for that. If you're an adversary, Zillow,
even Google Earth, but probably better.
Right.
Bing Bird's Eye. I love Bing Bird's Eye.
Which actually, when we're talking about adversarial OSINT, that brings us to the issue of when to blur and when not to blur.
You know what? I just moved that off our list to another list, but let's bring that one back down, because that was a good question. So, like, if you think adversarial, they're looking at your house, they're figuring it out, and some of the tools let you actually blur out whether or not you can people can see it or not. So, Sarah, what's your point of view for this?
So I think that there's nothing wrong with asking Google Earth to blur, or some of the other tools to blur your property, especially your vehicles in front of your house. Like if you end up having a picture of your home on Google Earth that has a photo of your vehicle and that license plate number is still accidentally showing, I think it's fine to contact them and say, please blur. my one of my family members was taking a walk with one of my dogs, and was on Google Earth walking the dog. It's so I think
And that's not something that's going to come to you. You need to look for that.
right.
Hopefully
So-
you'll notice the little car with the crazy, but it might look like a Waymo car now.
Yeah, but it's never going to get rid of, especially in the United States, because we have less privacy than like if you're sitting in the EU with GDPR. But if you're in the United States, it's kind of layers of risk mitigation. So even if you're blurring on Google Earth, yes, somebody can still go to get
Bing's bird eye. Bing's
What?
bird eye is amazing. Bing's bird eye view.
yeah. I mean, there's
More and more I use Bing for things.
right, but I think that a lot of times when people do casing, and they're doing adversarial OSINT, they might go to one or two sources. They might not go to all of them.
Right.
So
The
if
easiest
you're
to go to is Google Maps.
right. So if it's good to protect the things that you can, and then you can always add that with like one of the services that Kirby is nice enough to provide me as a employee, is to do a privacy service like Delete Me that actually helps take some of your stuff offline. And I think that doing some risk mitigation measures isn't going to totally get rid of being cased by adversarial OSINT, but it certainly helps mitigate it.
Right. And it helps from the easy passerby who might be interested in it.
Right.
Sometimes, and I've heard this criticism, you blur your house, people are wondering, excuse me, why? Kind of like when you look on Google Earth, if there's a whole area that's like blurred out, there's something there that they had the power to say, blur this whole area out, right? So why did you blur out your house? Now, anybody can blur out their house on Google Earth or Google Maps, right? Anybody can ask for that. But sometimes people think, okay, why is it? And maybe they need to do some further research. But again, I'm going to say even though that's a criticism for it, that's a low risk, because that's a casual person who's zipping around the internet and just happens to know you're blurred and doesn't know who you are and doesn't decides that that's freaky. I'm going to guess that's like not too common of an occurrence. What do you think, Sarah? I think it's low risk.
Yeah, I think it's low risk. I mean, it's just like some people believe in lizard people do. I mean,
I don't know. I'm almost believing in lizard people when we end this class.
No, but I think I agree with you. It's low risk, and I think it's a nice thing to harden just your general space or your property.
Yeah, and True Patriot says, I did that just because the way camera locations can't be identified, or the fact that I have cameras. Also, having a security response sign outside, even if you don't have security, is a great deterrent. Yeah, okay, so I love the idea of the security response sign, even if you don't have security. Actually, even better, having a security response sign and having security. I love my security company, love them. But the other thing you said, camera locations can't be identified. I like that a lot. So you blur out, you ask Google Earth to blur you so that they can't scope you using Street View to figure out where your cameras are and where your possible blind spots are.
Yep. That one's good too.
Yeah, love that. Love that comment. Thank you so much, True Patriot. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, now this time we're going to talk about, it's still Realty, but this time we're going to talk about human trafficking, and actually more on our side of the fence. So there are some tools out there that help you, and now they're adding AI to it, find hidden trafficking victims. Sarah, I'll let you go ahead and take it.
This is just showing that that AI is currently being used to help identify some of the locations where you have human trafficking at hotels or other locations, but primarily hotels. I think that one of the important things is in this instance is when you can help feed the AI tools that are doing this, like if there's volunteer apps, which we'll have one in here, where you can take pictures of different hotel rooms that theoretically could be help feed the LLMs for these kind of tools. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, and so the next share also has to do with this.
Yep.
Not with the AI part of it, a little bit more of the typical side, but like I can absolutely see where AI, because one of the things AI is really good at is going through a lot of data at once. So if we have like the interior videos of a lot of places.
Right. Well, and if you have people that have crowdsourced photos of the same hotel room from different aspects, and that have put it in these apps, then theoretically that can be put into AI to help
make those poly maps.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, this is like, I mean, we live in, what do they say? May you live in interesting times is a curse. We live in interesting times, but we also live in really kind of exciting times. The idea of being able to do this with AI. All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about kind of like the normal, like the pre-AI version of this kind of stuff, because it's been out there for a while. And there's the official stuff right now. So I'm going to go ahead and share the inside the FBI.transistor.fm article about the Endangered Child Alert Program. Sarah?
Well, this is a good episode to discuss how
podcast.
The podcast, yeah, sorry, about the Endangered Child Alert Program, but it's talking about how you can assist by providing information. And I think it's, again, important to artificial intelligence and LLMs. The reason that they're able to provide information is because people put information out there in the first place that they then suck up and then put into a tool. So, I think, but this I thought was a worthwhile listen. So.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that just sparked something in my head. So normally when I think of AI sucking up all of the content in the world and then putting it out there and charging you to use it, they have a lot for free, but charging you to use it for the most part, right? I think I'm really kind of annoyed, and I think that AI should also be helping everyone by paying for some of this data. But in this case, hold that thought, Sarah, hold that thought. In this case, being able to donate stuff to an AI project for this is pretty amazing. Okay, Sarah, what's your thought?
Well, when I went to the Artificial Intelligence, the World AI Summit on October 8th and 9th in Amsterdam, there were people that were talking about their AI LLMs that are incentivized to pay people for their qualitative data, and the ones the big models that you were referring to are having to kind of go back and look at, okay, maybe we should have scraped all that data because now we're in a lot of trouble for it. And some of them are looking at what?
I'm just gonna say the genie's out of the bottle, though.
Right, it is out of the bottle. It is out of the bottle. But even though genie's out of the bottle, they might still have to go back and compensate some people. Well, I know some celebrities have sued a few.
Okay. So, but I think they need to compensate everyone. Now this goes into my evolving political views. I'm not going to get political here.
No
political. It's not a political place. But I just think that AI, the existence of AI throughout time has been explained as for the betterment of all humanity. And I think it should be for the betterment of all humanity. That's my opinion.
Well, yeah, and I'm a volunteer with IEEE, and IEEE's mission is technology for the betterment of humanity, and especially AI for the betterment of humanity. But there are specific AI models that definitely are looking at it for betterment of humanity and monetizing the creators.
I think they're too small. I think that we need to think much bigger than one AI who says, I'm going to pay every artist who I take their art. I love that idea. I do, but it's too late. So here's, for me, it's got to go bigger. And I can't exactly explain how it needs to go bigger, but I'm working on it.
But this example on here,
this example specifically
is not AI specific.
But it probably is now. I mean, you send it in, if the FBI gets it, don't think they're not using FBI,
Oh, no, they're using, But I mean, the person providing the information might not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, but I think that it is worthwhile to send it to the FBI for the AI ability, because even if we're just thinking, okay, we're just talking about looking at what a room looks like and being able to measure it against a victim video, it's a valid use for AI. Okay, so True Patriot has a comment. We're going back to okay, so I tried many hours on the few ECAP, but there's a few instances. There's even less context that could even help the investigation. I plan to donate my weekends to the MNIC. This is the best way to actually make a difference. Also involved with JRIC for the actual threats. Huge to provide data we find through the actual investigators in the field. I'm going to tell you, MNIC, they are fantastic. The national, I'm going to share the website because I'm going to mess that up.
And by the way, thank you so much for volunteering your time for such a worthy cause. That's awesome.
It is. I absolutely agree. National Child Exploitation.
Mm-hmm. And they also have trace and object. Have you done trace and object?
Trace and object.
Yeah. So sometimes, like the FBI or some of the other organizations, they'll put up an object that was in a.
Oh, yes, I do know about that. Go ahead and talk about it. I'll show that.
Right.
I interrupted you. Continue.
Oh, so so it could be a teddy bear or it could be a shirt, and you try and figure out where that teddy bear, that shirt is from because it relates to human trafficking investigation or an endangered child.
And the page I'm finding for our trace and object is Europol. So I'm going to show the NMIC page and the Europol page. So, and thank you, Sarah. I think you shared the missingkids.org page. All right, so hold on. Me at the helm, and I'm not prepared to share a different page. Okay, here we go. Trace and object page.
Yep.
All right, so this is again, this is the Europol version of that, but it could be anything from like cloth, like a bedspread, right?
Right.
Anything that says, hey, help us figure out what the hell this is. And to be honest, one of the best things they might be able to do with that is put it into Reddit r/what is it? Because those people figure it out.
That's a good forum, actually.
That is. And I will put this and the r/what is it in the show notes.
Okay.
Let me switch this, and I just want to really quickly switch it to NMIC, because again, that is a really great service. True Patriot for showing that, for mentioning that.
Yeah, and also True Patriot also mentioned JRIC. I think we should include that in the show notes too.
JRIC as well. So there's NMIC, the National Missing and Exploited Children. Mention this. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And I've spoken there a few times, and I love them, and I think their mission is one of the best out there.
Yeah.
So the other one is going to be JRIC. Okay, and let me share that one instead. There we go. Sharing him to the stage. Okay, Joint Regional Intelligence Center. Again, just another Is that federal? I believe it's federal.
And also somebody popped up missingkids.org. Also is a good resource that we'll add to the show
Yeah, no,
notes.
that was you.
Okay.
Because you can see it's OSINTirl.
Ah, that was me. Okay.
I love it. No, that's totally sounds like something I would like. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yes.
All right.
New resources, and again, we will put them, of course, in the show notes on YouTube. And remember that next week we are talking very specifically about protecting your kids. So we had a like protecting your kids episode a little while back, but this is more like protecting your kids from extremists online, what you can do as a parent when your kids are looking at the internet and how you know what they're looking at. True Patriot says, yes, it's basically federal, so JRIC. So if I receive a creditable threat, I'm to put it out there to all gov agencies. Awesome. All right, back to what we were talking about before, which, by the way, this next website actually kind of ties into it. And I'm going to assume that this is something that gets pulled into eCam, right? Which is traffic cam. I remember I used this a long time ago. When it first came out, I was traveling a lot at that point. I was taking a picture of every single hotel room I was going to. So this is more of an instantly people help this out. So if you are on the road, you're staying at Airbnbs, you're staying at hotels, you can have the app on your phone. You take pictures, it automatically sends it in, and they take care of it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I was traveling a lot, and so I was doing this every single hotel I'd go to. I need to get back on my device and start doing it again. Although I don't travel as much as I used to. So, okay.
Yeah.
Next. Again, realtor, but this time it's a little bit different story about realtors. This one's about a realtor who maybe got canceled a little bit. Sarah, I'm going to let you go ahead and take this away.
Yes. So this was just showing how, it was a Ohio realtor because realtors most of them have a very public face. They're on lots of signs. They're on lots of websites.
Marketing.
And so this person went to a restaurant and happened to be a realtor, and she wrote a very nasty note on a tip saying she wasn't going to leave a tip with a racist comment. And so the person then turned around, doxed her, and said, oh, this is this realtor. And she got in trouble with the realty company. Yeah. But
I remember how easy it is to dox people. And to be honest, I don't know, if you're at a restaurant, it wouldn't necessarily be that easy to dox you, especially if you're paying with cash. But photographs and realtors marketing a lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah. So I think though that we're going to have to switch to the AI slop, Kirby.
It is time to move to AI slop. It is.
Yeah, we'll have to do
5 minutes left.
Yeah.
We're pretty close to it, so let's go ahead and hit the AI slop. Let's see.
Because
because we're close to our hour. So,
Hmm.
So we have a little bit of extra AI slop. I think we're gonna hit we gotta hit this guy too. Hold on. You know what I'm talking about. This guy. We gotta hit him too, right? It's AI slop.
Yep.
Okay.
It's AI slop.
Colleagues.
Lizard people.
Friends, colleagues.
Sarah likes the lizard people. Okay, the reason I did put that one in is because
I don't like the lizard people, but the lizard people is inundating the internet. This is an example of actual AI sludge versus AI slop because this was put out right before the elections in Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sludge because it was being put out to try and impact the election. And so it's
I almost think there needs to be a third category because when we're talking about AI slop versus AI sludge, and anybody can go check out that episode. AI sludge isn't it supposed to be looking realistic, makes you think that was this AI or not, and maybe somebody really did something.
Well, the sludge can be for something nefarious. So this is
Okay, so it's the impact. It's the intent.
yes. So I that's why I categorize this more as sludge versus slop.
Okay, yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
I agree.
So this was actually made to impact the elections, where they were trying to discredit the candidate by saying he was a lizard person.
Yep.
Not nice.
Right. Now, speaking of lizard people, now our real AI slop of the week.
We have 2 of them.
Oh, we do have 2. I better make sure I don't forget that. I'm going to put them in order, because if I don't, one of them needs to be the ending. All right, hang on. All right, so the first one, the caption says, I think I could be friends with lizard people only if they don't eat me.
I think it would be cool to be friends with the lizard people, the reptilians, as long as they didn't want to eat me. Well, you know, I think it would be cool.
All right.
So here's my question on this. Is like, it's obviously advertising McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
So when does AI slop get into copyright issues?
Okay, so here's the question. It's advertising McDonald's, but does McDonald's like care in this case? I agree with your basic premise that AI does have some copyright issues, especially we're just talking about Sora and celebrities who are dead. But in this case, like, I think this is almost like memes that had come out where the companies would probably be like, hey,
well, if I was McDonald's, I would look at this and say, oh, this is a cool guerrilla marketing concept. You know,
and maybe it's
who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could do something like this for guerrilla marketing. I mean, many years ago, you had subservient chicken, where you could tell the chicken what to do, and then later it came out that it was an advertisement for a chicken sandwich at one of the fast food restaurants. So, I mean, you could use this for guerrilla marketing or for influence operations. But at the same time, if it was negative, it could be a copyright issue.
Yeah, if it's negative, it could be beyond copyright. It could be defamation issue.
Right. Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
Right. That just makes me think though, like when I'm on Sora, and again, I will tell everybody left and right, if TikTok does not create Sora capabilities, it's gone as soon as Sora's open to everybody. But anyway, on Sora, I noticed that there's advertisers, especially if you go to the latest, the ones that don't come to the top of the feed, you can see people making commercials for themselves. A lot of them. And I can imagine guerrilla marketing would be trying to mix the two, trying to get something that's going to get to the top of the feed, but also be an advertisement for you, which again, Mark Cuban does with his cost plus ads. But it's really, really interesting stuff. All right, let's look at the last one. This has to be the end.
No, I do like this lizard. This one is a cool lizard.
This is the lizard that Sarah likes. All right. Oh, I played it, and of course,
you didn't show it on the screen.
No. Here I am thinking I'm getting so good at this. And not yet. Okay, there we go. Hi. There's our dog. Now it's just going to start cycling. Okay, no, that's not what we're looking for. Sorry, that was not our dog.
No, that's not the dog.
No. And now, okay.
Where'd the dog go?
I will get it back. Sorry about that.
Dog.
You know, live show. All right. Come back, dog. All right. I have the dog. Now this is on the screen.
On the screen. Cool.
It's a dog. Yes. All right, here we go. Lizard dog.
See, I think that we shouldn't have lizard people, like, as far as a conspiracy theory. I think that we should totally go for lizard dogs.
I can't argue with this one because it's kind of cute. But I do want to highlight that this is all on YouTube Shorts. People are sharing a hell of a lot of Sora stuff. Or this one might not even be Sora. Sora has this little advertisement that like pops around, although maybe if you have the higher level Sora, got sort of the ads. But there's a couple of other competitors that are also doing videos. And they're on YouTube Shorts right now, not just on Sora. So
yep.
Of course it's on YouTube.
Yep. But this also relates to dead internet theory too, because once you start inundating the whole net with this, then
I made a song on Suno about dead internet theory. I'm not releasing it if you guys are interested, but anyway.
Okay. Well, you could put it on the YouTube page.
Oh no, maybe another episode. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not that great. Maybe I might have to make it better. It turns out that even with AI, you have to work quite a bit to perfect something.
Oh,
anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Everything's going to YouTube right now. And in our YouTube show notes are also ways to connect with us on LinkedIn. We would love that. As well as if you're interested in getting into our premium membership, which not just, hey, we're talking about OSINT, but you get a newsletter from Sarah, and you get direct access to us. And I put a little bit of something here and there in the community.
Yeah. And so when we meet on Fridays, group, so if you're the premium subscribers, we meet on Fridays, and if you don't want to talk about like planning the next week, as far as the show, you can come talk to us about anything. Thank you so much for coming by. You can come talk to us about any OSINT issues or research issues or So
and we have a few new classes coming out. So if anybody wants to come on, I think Sarah's going to be by herself on this Friday. So come keep her company. But you can talk about, like, we have some new classes coming out. Sarah's got a dark web class that's getting close to finished. Okay. Bye. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. Oh, so question, True Patriot says if we throw our LinkedIn right here into the Twitch chat, that they would follow us. So let me go ahead and throw that in before we say goodbye.
Right.
Just in case and I will, of course, also post it, like share the comment as well on Twitch so that anybody who is interested in the future who watches this and isn't paying attention to the comments, I believe you can still see the Twitch comments afterwards. But anyway, there's Sarah.
Okay.
Sarah, somehow I feel like your URL should be easier. I don't know if you can go and try and customize it. Have you tried to customize it?
No.
I feel like it's.
But I was happy with it being kind of obscured before, and now that I'm on Twitch, it's kind of like now it's like, oh, don't be obscured. So okay.
Well, obscure's fine. Obscure's fine. All right, let me bring you mine. Hold on. Let's see. Mine is not so obscure. It's actually just Kirby P, but I will post it.
Okay.
My headshot is me looking like a mannequin. But hey, you do what you do. Headshots are headshots, right? So there's mine. And again, if you follow us, chances are we'll follow you, especially if you let us know you found us there.
Yeah. So absolutely.
And True Patriot is going to make changes LinkedIn to be its own entity. Good idea. Thank you, Stein Giancarlo. I appreciate it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Good night. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.